The chess world is in a shock. And who is responsible for this? The great Magnus Carlsen himself. So, ladies and gentlemen, and my sweet little ones, welcome to the last round of the Norway Chess 2025, where Magnus Carlsen shocked the whole planet by sacrificing his rook and even later on giving up his queen. But still, the game ended in a draw. And now I am going to walk you all through this game so that you don't miss that fun. So, without further ado, let's check this out. So, Arjun with the white chess pieces starts the game with pawn to d4. We have d5 by Magnus and c4, the queen's gambit. We have e6, the queen's gambit declined. And after knight to c3, knight to f6, takes, we have the exchange variation on the board. Bishop to g5, bishop to e7, pawn to e3, and now Magnus castles. Bishop to d3, pawn to h6, bishop to h4, and now c6 by Magnus, solidifying the position. And after knight g e2, knight b d7, Arjun also castles. We have a5 by Magnus, trying to gain space on the queen side, and now f3. So Arjun wants to play e4 in the future and take the center. So that is why he's playing f3. And now b5. So this move shocked everyone because now you can see that the c6 pawn is a backward pawn and it's like a small weakness in the Magnus's camp. So everyone is like shocked with b5. So now after taking 12 to 13 minutes, our friend Arjun went for queen c2. So the idea being that the c6 pawn is weak and also he wants to play e4, right? So now after rook to e8, Arjun goes for e4. So now Magnus plays b4 attacking the knight, and after knight a4 he takes, and in this position we have the first brilliant move of the game, knight takes pawn. So now we have the trade of the bishops, and now queen takes on c6. The rook is hanging, and I don't know why Magnus played knight f6 because he's hanging a whole rook, right? A full rook, yeah. But yeah, he can win it back by playing queen check. I mean, he'll be just an exchange down. But I think maybe like he's watching, maybe because of him watching a lot of Gotham chess videos, or maybe let's say, I mean, Levi Roseman's video, he just sacrificed, or let's say he gave him like a content, right? Like sacrifice the rook. So here, for example, let's say if you are going for rook b8, he can actually sacrifice with rook takes pawn. Because if you take with the queen, you have bishop c4, pinning the queen to the king. So yeah, that is a really big threat. So I think maybe because Magnus saw this, so that's why he wanted to avoid this, but it was a blunder. Knight f6, knight e f6. He could have played knight d f6 or knight d2. This is what the engine recommends. But yeah, after queen takes pawn, he hung the rook. But yes, after queen takes rook, queen e3 check, king h1, queen takes bishop. And now knight f4, attacking the queen. So queen takes pawn, and here rook a c1 is what engine recommends to attack the bishop. But here Arjun goes for rook d1, attacking the queen. So maybe Arjun wanted like the queen to move away from this diagonal, as you can see, because maybe like later on knight g4 threats can come. So first he wanted to kick that queen from the diagonal. So even engine recommends queen e3, the best move. But now queen e5 by Magnus. And now rook c1. And here knight f8. So Arjun took the bishop, but the fun part being that Magnus can actually sacrifice his queen. Because queen takes knight, you cannot take my queen because it's a mate in two, and you can also not take my rook because then it's a mate in one. So now the fun part, I mean, yes, Arjun is a grandmaster, he'll see the move queen a6. Yeah, he saw that. And now, once again, the fun part of the game, he sacrifices, I mean, he's not sacrificing it, he's like giving the queen for two rooks. But now, h3, we have h3. The fun part, you want to move the queen, but only after like your king safety. Because let's say you go for a direct queen d3, you are going to get back rank mated, right? So yeah, pawn h3 makes sense. And now after rook to d8, we have queen a6 attacking that pawn. So after rook to d5, we have knight to b6, rook c5, knight c4, sorry. And now after knight to e6, knight takes pawn. And you can see after a few moves, like let's say there's no activity for black on the queen side, so he's like trying to create some counter attack on the king side, and that is why g5 and g4. So now b3, just protecting that knight. I mean, it's already protected, but maybe like he wants to move the queen, give some checks. So maybe like he wants to like fix that knight on c4, protect by b3 and all. So now we have takes and rook h5, and now king h2. So here, yeah, after king h2, we have king to g7. Even knight g5 is okay, because if they take the knight, you have this check. King goes to g1. Let's say king g1, then you can see that there's a check, or let's say king g2 also. You can give this check because you can't take the rook. Then knight check, king goes anywhere. Let's say king f4, you take the queen, and black is having an extra pawn, but it's like equal. So that was the idea, and even like the same idea, like if you go for king f2, check, you lose the queen, right? I mean, check and you lose the queen. So this was the idea. But I think Magnus wanted to win this game. It's an equal game. Like let's say if he will take the rook and it will be an equal game. But I think Magnus wanted to win the game. So that's why king g7 first, and after queen b7, he goes for knight g5, attack on the pawn. We have a knight to, yeah, d6, and rook takes pawn with a check, king g2, and now rook d3 attacking the knight. So knight check, king g6, again a check on e7, king h5. The knight check just allowed the king to enter the game, right? And after queen takes pawn, which is a mistake, this allows black to play knight f e4, right? And now after king to f1, we have rook d2. So this move queen to b5 was a mistake, because now black could have played pawn to f5. The idea being that if you take with the queen, I have this check and winning the queen, right? It's a fork or a double attack, whatever you want to say, right? And if you take with the knight, I can give this check. Obviously, you can't go to g1 because then check and you get mated. And let's say you go to e1, again, I do give this check, king d1, knight c3, check, and I win your queen. A fork, a double attack, as you have mentioned. So f5, unfortunately, Magnus did not see f5. He went for the rook check. And you can see that Magnus down a queen, right, is still winning the game. You can see the evaluation bar. So I think, yeah, like the impossible thing. It's like too impossible, right? So Magnus is like, okay, let me bring the king into the game. But yeah, a check, check, and you can see that he did not want to repeat the moves, so he's like moving the king. And after rook takes on a2, you can see that still engine is recommending that here black is winning, because they're saying like you should play knight c5 and then knight e6, and later on bring the knight to e4, king to e5. They have a nasty line, I mean, yeah. But here the fun part being that Magnus just repeated, and the game ended in a draw by threefold repetition. So a wonderful game and really a fun, I mean, it was a lot of fun because you can see that when the game started, I think let's look at from where, yeah, over here it was like white was okay, but now slowly you can see Magnus was like, okay, you have an equal game, and then there you go, from move 39, like not 39, I think from 40, after queen takes pawn, he was like Magnus was having the advantage. So an impossible game without a queen, and even at the starting he gave the exchange up for, like, let's say the rook for a bishop, right? So this can be possible if only you are a Magnus Carlsen, right? Yeah, what a wonderful game. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and hope to see you all in the next video. Till then, take care and peace out.